something.
13.7.
13.7.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Smashed it. Jeez.
Yep. All right. So
Yeah, no, that play was textbook.
What's up, Samson?
What's up, Levy?
How you doing, bro? How was the gym?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hit shoulders.
Nice.
Got a nice little pump.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. We'll give it like a minute. Some people must be afraid of the quiz. Scary quiz. Any questions before we jump into the quiz? I think we should just do the quiz first and see where people are at. I didn't pay for Kahoot yet. I'm cheap, so maybe later on I'll pay for it. So only 3 people can actually scan the QR code. So whoever is quick enough to do that will be the 3 players in the game. Otherwise, you just keep track of what you have selected. But we'll go through each question together one by one. They're pretty simple, but they are tricky. So I want you to really look at the question. There's pictures for most of these, and then take a minute. I gave probably not enough time for each question. I think I gave only 45 seconds because I wanted things to like kind of run smoothly. But yeah, let's jump into this. Forget how to do it. Yeah, there we go. All right, so there's your little QR code and pin for those that want to join. I got fucking poison ivy on my arm. I'm so pissed from golf yesterday, 2 days ago. Sucks. All right, we got balls, Matt and Alan. Nice. That's probably Blake. Blake's balls. All right, let's start. Good luck. Is this a good long setup? I wish there was music. There should be music. So we'll be tweaking this as we go. 30 seconds. Is this a good long setup? Here's a bearish fair value gap. We have sell side swept. Yes, good momentum. We'll say A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D going forward. Top, bottom, left, top, left, bottom, right, top, right, bottom. A, B, C, D. Yes, good momentum. Yes, swept sell side. No too many fair value gaps above, or no hit internal high. Boop, 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 boop. Oh. Wait, which one's number 2? Oh, it's the circle. All right, so 2 people said B. You thought it was okay. It's too many fair value gaps above. So we can run through this again. We'll go through it again. I can't go back, but if you look, there were multiple fair value gaps above that we could deliver bearishly off of, so it wasn't a good long. Next question. Oh, I have to hit next. Is this a good long? We have a close coming. We have a little nice candle formation here. We have equal lows below. PA sucks. Multiple 4 equal lows below. In discount should work. Yes, it is good. Singular fair value gap and buy side above. Are we in discount? Would we long this? We have 2 answers. One more answer. A, B, C, or D. A, PA sucks. B, no multiple. C, yes discount. No. 4 equal lows below. We do not take the long. Somebody omitted that question. They got scared. That's okay. Answer the question in this. This is not the SAT. You want to answer these questions, so just throw one in. All right, it's not going to help your score. Yeah, multiple equal lows below. Simple. I took 2 trades in the AM session on my funded. Both are wins for 1.5 RR each. Oh, 1.5 M2. What should I do for PM? I only gave you 3 options. Made it easier. Try to take another trade. You're on a roll. Leverage all the profits for one final trade. Or, if you're less experienced, tape read, paper trade. Experience. That's right. Yeah, we're smart. We got that one right. Of course, you're not going to trade again. You're going to paper trade or tape read. There you go. What's the bias? Bearish since we had a giant engulfing candle. Or leaning bullish since sell side sweep, but weird signature, not married. Bearish since we are rejecting the hourly fair value gap. That's this. Or bullish 100% because we swept sell side. This is a tough one. 15 seconds to get the question right. I'll help you with 10 seconds left. We're probably not D. Bullish 100% because we swept sell side. There's more to this than meets the eye. And we're leaning bullish since the sell side swept, but weird signature. Okay, so most recently there was that low sell side creep and sweep, but you saw there was that order block basically. That other green candle was completely disrespected, so showing also a continuation of bearish price. So we're leaning bullish with the sell side sweep, but the signature is not great. The PA is weird, so we're not married to that. All right, please rate this setup. And I will note that this is a 40-point stop. This is a 40-point fair value gap. A lot of movement underneath. Right, 40-point stop loss. No one answered. Everyone got fucking scared. We would only use this for bias. That huge bearish fair value gap, it's too big. CPI is tomorrow. It's currently 2 p.m. Eastern, the day before CPI. Do you trade? This one's tough. This one's tough. But this is a general rule of thumb when trading statistically, if you want to keep a higher edge and just have the best case scenario for always winning on the most days possible. So CPI is tomorrow. It's afternoon, the day before CPI. So we already had the volume and everything of morning. It's the 1:30 to 4 p.m. afternoon, the day before CPI. Okay. Ba-ba. Yeah. 2 answers, 1 more. That person left. I don't know. But yeah, you don't trade afternoon session, lunch session, none of that shit the day before CPI. It's just a rule of thumb. CPI is there. Everyone's waiting. It's the biggest news release of the month, CPI. You're not trading that afternoon. You can trade the morning, but then price, everything's just going to just burn out, just be done. Why is it always a good idea to skip an A+ setup if you have already taken a major win? This is bad advice. Keep trading. Or B, resetting the mind and enjoying a day will help you in the long run. C, because it will likely fail. Or D, take it anyways. Might need to mute yourself or I'll do it for you. Yep, very good. Resetting the mind, enjoying the day will help you in the long run. It'll help your mental attitude, your mental confidence, mental health. This is a 10 a.m. Eastern Time news candle. Is this a data low? A, yes, it should hit. B, no abnormal wick. C, yes, it's a clean body. Or D, no, it's not a swing low. No, it's not, because it's a swing low. Swing low does not have anything to do with it. Just the data wick itself. We want an abnormal wick, a huge wick below. There was no wick at all. It was just body. Remember that, how it said clean body there? That was a throw you off a trick answer. We want an abnormal wick. We want a ton of wick coming down and sweeping sell side liquidity. If I saw a long setup here on the lower time frame, would I take it? So we're looking at this 5-minute time frame. You can see that. Price came up. Are we going to take a lower time frame setup here if we saw a long? Mechanically speaking. Can you guys still hear that person, or did I mute it for everyone? I feel like I need to. I feel like there needs to be a way to mute that person. Okay, got it wrong. No, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. That's correct. But more specifically, the 5-minute, that fair value gap that was illustrated there was failed. It was disrespected. It closed over and yet completely failed. So it was not showing good price action. It was not respecting the inversion. So why would you take a lower time frame inversion below it? No, you wouldn't. It would be, it failed. So we're going to wait for a cleaner setup, a bigger liquidity sweep. It's 9:58 Eastern, and we have 10 a.m. orange folder news. Do you take an A+ setup? Do you take an A+ setup? Yeah, you can. We don't care about orange folder news. That was a trick question. Only red folder. Is this A+? Read the answers slowly and look at the diagram. Would we take this? Close over. Clean inversion delivery. All right, we had a yes, it's clean, and a no was the correct. Whoever said no because we didn't tap into that fair value gap below, you are correct. If we looked, that price, that wick did not get into IRL sell side. It did not enter and then deliver from that bullish gap. So no, not A+. A, but not A+. What's the bias? This is a tricky one. Got a wick down there. Down, down, down. You really only have to focus about here. That's right. That was good. I'm glad people got that. That's amazing. So you could see that there was that order block. There was the green candle in between the two red, and that red candle, the third candle, closed way below the open of the middle green. So that was an order block. And even though we had that wick down there sweeping a ton of sell side, it still doesn't indicate bullish yet unless that order block were to break. All right, we only have a couple more questions. Is this an A+ setup? this right here. Focus on this here. Is this an A plus? Nobody answered yet. It's a tricky one. Still no answers. Bunch of scaredy cats. Oh, the last second. We threw it in. We got it right. Yeah, but it fails. If you looked right above that first inversion, there was another highlighted bearish fair value gap that price entered, never closed above, respected, and continued down to more sell side. So that was a break-even trade at best. But no, it wasn't A plus. When can you long in premium and short in discount? This is kind of subjective, but I threw it in. Oh, I typed that one wrong. You can't when I go live during London session, during high volatile times where there's obvious equal highs or equal lows. We're dropping like flies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. During high volatile times, good. You got that one. And the last question for double points. Who's the fucking GOAT? Is it TJR or is it Samson Levy? Yep, good job. Got that all right. Good, y'all passed. Except some of those tricky questions were a little tough. So we can go over anything that anyone wants to, or we can just dive back into the charts and look at Asia session, and I can answer questions. But the floor is open. We're in general chat. So go ahead and fucking unmute yourself and start yapping away. I don't care. Oh, my last is in. I'm also going to have to start doing a survey post at least lives and or class, just so I can get confirmation on people of how they enjoyed the live, that wasn't clear enough signals, you know, whatever. I found that quiz boring because we did lose. We had like 9 or 10 people, and now we're down to 5 or 6. So I don't know. I guess some people felt the quiz was too easy. But it went from 3 people to 2, and some people weren't answering by the end. So I don't know. Any questions? Any questions right now?
It's not really a question, but for me, when I was doing the Kahoot thing, I was like so glued into like analyzing the question, like I just ran out of time for like definitely a good majority of the questions.
Oh yeah, that's fine, bro. I'll extend the time for the next one. I'll do like a 20 question quiz, and I'll give like a minute for each, something like that. We'll make it a big one, and then I guess I'll buy Kahoot, and then we can make it interactive for everyone. That might have been why people left, because they weren't able to put the answers in. But whatever. It's like $30 a month to have this stupid thing. Well, any other questions on the quiz, liquidity? I did do daily recap and bias today. Daily recap just a minute ago. So if you weren't in the live this morning, we caught the manipulation leg off open right here. So price immediately opened and dumped very quickly. It took out the sell side liquidity, entered into that, like we talked about, that 4-hour fair value gap right here. Just beautifully. It tapped into it. It didn't fill it all the way. But that was enough to form a little bit of an SMT where NQ was sweeping a bunch of that sell side, and then ES hadn't done it. And so that's what basically gave me a ton of confidence to get into that trade at like the bottom wick, essentially. Because in my experience and what I've seen over and over and over again, is when we come down that fast, especially right off open, it usually means that there's going to be some type of sweep and reversal. There it was. And as we started to dance around and come back up on like the 15 and 32nd, I decided that, yeah, I was going to enter way down here and set like a, God, what was it? Like a 10, 12 point stop, 15-point stop at best. And I was going to allow the price to come up and get the confirmation, and then that would allow me to just stay in the trade. Thought we would maybe get the retracement back in here, which we did, and it took out even this low. Or no, excuse me, it did not. But that would have been a break-even trade. So I'm glad that we used our insights, Samson and myself, to get out around the 50% and a little bit before, because that is a great place for a reversal to happen. And it was right at 10 a.m. that it started to die off and switch direction. And you just don't want to be caught up in this. I mean, we got out of that trade at 10 a.m., 10:01, because of the news, right, or whatever. And then it just trickled around for almost an hour before it died. And it's just not worth being in that trade. It's not. So, sometimes it is worth just getting out. We didn't have a ton of news, and we're coming off of a long weekend. So that was kind of my mindset there. And then the 15-minute that afternoon for the lunch trade, that was also a pretty easy one. We had a lower time frame SMT where ES swept the low. That's what these blue lines are. You can see it a little better. So we have this ascending trend and this descending. So NQ couldn't sweep this. ES did sweep the sell side, and we just launched from there. We just delivered. That became the new daily low on ES. And ES, I should have stayed in the trade a little bit longer. It just absolutely cranked up, delivered through premium, through this sell side imbalance, bearish bearish fair value gap, and even entered this next bearish imbalance up here. So technically, you could have set your TP for 6445, 6446 on the ES side, but always best to be nice and conservative. We still got a 2.78 trade there. Samson, talk about your trade. I want to hear your trade as well, and then we can hopefully any other questions come to mind.
Yeah, so it was very similar to your trade, but I ended up taking it off the 3-minute. I can show my screen right now. You guys see this?
Yeah, we see it. Well, I do, but I don't want to speak for everybody else.
Yeah. So basically we had a very high time frame sell side level. I marked it out on the daily time frame. So here we go to the daily time frame. We swept out daily sell side at this low right here. And then off that we formed a bullish SMT because ES didn't even sweep this wick right here. So I then scaled down to 1 minute. We formed a fat bullish SMT. Again, we swept daily sell side. So off that, now I was looking for a reversal. So initially I scaled down to the 5 minute, but the 5 minute would have been a good entry too, but I think I personally entered off the 3. I still got a little bit of a later entry, but I entered off the 3-minute inverse fair value gap. Honestly, my entry could have been off the 5 too. But the 5 would have closed up here. So I entered off the close of the 3. I got at 23,128.50. Had my stop at the recent low at 23,024.75. Also for a lower time from confirmation. Once we push past this, we got the change in the state. Also use that as just more confirmation. And I did want to see a push higher. We did have like some sort of generated liquidity, especially up here. Once we started slowly pushing higher, we started making We started forming propulsion blocks and stacked order blocks. I knew order flow was bullish, and we did want to make a bullish move, especially the fact that we had a 30-minute swing high right above, and we had London high above too. I did want to see a move up, so I was holding the trade for a while. We got the push up. Once macro came in, I still had more conviction. And then once news came in, we got this huge wick up, and I just started trailing stop because I was up more than 1R. I started trailing stop. I just got stopped in profit at 23. Let's see, 23,251.75 for a 1 to 1.2 RR. But yeah, very similar trade to Levy, except Levy entered. He basically bottom ticked the entire move. But yeah, that was just kind of my trade. Did anybody catch us with us today? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Gabriel caught that with us.
Any losing trades anyone wants to talk about? Get some criticism on?
Said nah.
That's fine. That's fine. We don't have to go over any losing trades, but you know, you definitely want to be comfortable with losing, and at some point, you'll throw them up. You'll feel very comfortable just going, I fucking lost this trade. Help me out here. What else? What else can I say? I guess when it comes to the trade itself, you really need to be patient. Some of you are going to see things and you want to get into the move, especially when it comes to chasing. I think the biggest mistake is getting in when you're supposed to rather than getting in late and following. I was failing when I tried to follow too much and I tried to utilize people as a signal service. So I know it's kind of like oxymoron. I want you to take the signals, but I want you to take them. And today was kind of a little different because today I got in super early on the 9:30 in the morning open trade. But I was talking you guys through the close over on the 1 and the 3 minute. All of those were valid. But after I did note that, you know, if you were getting it at this point, it was a chase. And so hopefully nobody got in at that point and was truly chasing late, because that's when you screw yourself. You have to do an extremely large stop loss, or if you don't, you're probably just going to be taken out. And then the other thing is on the break even side, it screws you because you have a higher fill. You're closer to the next liquidity pool. You're much closer to the break even. And now your fill is within the retracement of the pullback that usually happens from the retracement of hitting that next liquidity pool. Unless you're in a banger trade and price just keeps on going, then you're fucked. And so part of that was the reason why I got in so early and tried to bottom tick the move, was because I was watching on the 15 and 30 second that we had made that liquidity sweep. Price had instantly, you know, jerked up like 5 points and wasn't coming back down to that area. So I was leaving that low as that lowest low. If we were to come back down again, it was going to be a swing low and was going to create a higher low from there. So that was my thought and logic and reasoning behind the trade, why I got in early and why I was confident to do so. But for you guys, definitely don't try to do that unless I'm saying I'm doing that. I still wouldn't really be signaling out a trade like that because it is very dangerous. But if I see something that really mechanically looks good, it'll be hard to not mention it. So I'll definitely be a little bit better at, you know, showing you guys like an aggressive ass entry. But that 1 minute and the 3 minute were still valid. The 3-minute was right here. Notice we had a swing low. We had that other wick, right? I'm pointing here, the green wick right there. And it came nowhere near that low. And so that's why stop loss was the low. And once we had that 3-minute close over, I knew that this IRL buy side was 100%, maybe not 100, but was 99% going to get taken. Notice how there is no wick. There's no retracement into that 3-minute. Those higher time frames are typically really good. When you get the 1 minute, look at the 1 minute. I think it got a little bit more dicey because we had a liquidity pool so much closer. We didn't have that on the 3-minute, and then you had to get 2 candles to close over. There was an order block as well, but again, you're in the bearish imbalance. So the 1 minute was super sketchy, and then the 30-second was just too small of a gap as far as I remember. It was this, and it was just, it was like 2 points. On NQ, I like 5 points minimum for the gap and 2 for ES. And that was just 2 on NQ, so that wasn't really enough. Plus the wicks here, I don't like seeing stuff like that. I want to see bodies. I want to see price not retrace in that time frame. So what I did like, however, was seeing there and on the 15, where are we? That the 15 was showing this wiggle. You see this stuff? We came down, created that low, and it was wiggling and starting its upward. At that point, that's where I saw I had to enter. But again, for you guys, it was the 3 and or 2 minute. You had the 2 here, was again a clean close with a little bearish imbalance up here, or you had your 3 minute. Here. And you kind of had relative equal highs as a target, and then a bearish imbalance right above, but you did only have a 16-point stop. So under 20 points, guys, you really have to say to yourself, like, what do I have to lose? When you see a wick entering sell side, delivering from a, wait, what the hell are we looking? That's not it. Hang on. There it is. This. When you see that close over, I'm sorry, look at this. This was your break even. This is much better. Look at all the room you had, 116 to 143. Here to here to go break even. And then you had 116. There's your close. So you could have done there's your break even, but I like to do this close below. So you would have had a 67 to a 116. That was a larger stop. I remember in live time, it's on the recording, I did mention you have a bigger stop loss for this one. But no wick under here. You could have been a little more tight with your stop loss. That would have been fine. So yeah, that was it for today. Tomorrow we have we have Jolt's job openings at 10. That may give us another nice candle. So the game plan for tomorrow is pretty simple. We're just going to get up early. I'll be live much earlier than today. Hope for a pre-market open trade, and then from 9:30 to 10, probably really just going to watch. If we can get into something spectacular like we did today by 9:35, 9:40 at the latest, we'll take it. If we have a nice swing high or low, something to work with. But I'd like to wait for Jolts. As far as Thursday, ADP, NFP, that is not the real NFP. That's Friday. A rule of thumb, sometimes it's best to not trade before NFP. That is a rule of thumb as well. NFP being the following day, it is a no trade day. So as far as Thursday, you could take a pre-market 8:30. We could get potentially an OSFL, one setup for life here. And then I would be very careful about afternoon trading on Thursday, given this yellow folder and FOMC speakers and the waiting for NFP. That will give us another data candle. So we still have an eventful week, even though it's a short week. We have plenty of red folder, plenty of volatility tomorrow, and then Friday. It may be a pre-market 8:30 trade for Thursday. Any questions around that? Anyone want to share a losing trade now or a psychological struggle? Anyone go full tilt by accident, take an extra trade by accident? Anything like that? For the next class, we'll do it on Thursday. I'll keep that very structured again. We'll go back to a very set in stone, curriculum. So I'll have a topic Samson and I will put together, and we'll have like a deliverable again. Maybe not like a presentation, but definitely back testing examples or trade recap examples, and we'll go into more again the candles and just more expert level liquidity. Okay, because it's not just highs and lows getting taken out. You need momentum. You need higher time frame things that coincide. You need order flow to coincide. You don't want to be trading against that. There's so many things to be keeping track of. Anybody want to say anything? Blake, were you about to unmute and say something?
Today's trade was beautiful, King.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. Hopefully we'll get many more of those. Maybe this week. We'll try. We will.
It's a new month for sure, so price gonna change. You feel me?
Yeah, so that's the other thing. Being September, right? I am expecting in the next 8 weeks, I am expecting a correction. I'm expecting a 10 to 15% correction. We have miraculously Apple coming back into the 240s range. It hit 239.40 cents post market because of the trade, the lawsuit with Google involved as well. So Google and Apple just launched up. Google just went from about 210 to 230 a share today, from 3:45, 4 o'clock to right at market close after that for post trading. Pretty wild. So expect, if you are an options player at all, you could probably, depending on how much more it sinks, you could probably play puts on Apple and or Google tomorrow. I definitely see a retracement coming back down into the 15-minute. If you just look at that yourself on TradingView, you'll see Apple and Google have a huge BISI, B-I-S-I, buy-side imbalance, sell-side inefficiency, also known as a bullish fair value gap. So from our experience, the years doing this, that's very likely going to happen unless it wants to just deliver halfway into the 50%. But 50% retracement of that pump on Apple and Google, 50% will be retraced by tomorrow or Thursday. You can guarantee that. Those short-term news announcements, they're bullish, but it doesn't last. It just doesn't. Any questions?
Yeah, real quick. I was curious on the second trade when you took it on ES. Is there a reason you favored ES over NQ? Did this and NQ didn't, or was there like a reason for that?
Yeah, there was a reason. For me, I liked that ES had done the sell side sweep and was the one doing the bullish SMT that took out this low. This low here is the same low on NQ. So we had a higher low here. And other than that, I think I liked that there was just a little less bearish imbalances here on the way up to get through. Either way, there was the 10 a.m. data high to be targeting, and that's pretty much, you can see where I got out. It's because we started to shake around a lot as soon as we took that high. My trailing stop was just too close. I truly wanted to hold to 430, and I should have, but I did bring my trailing stop to like within 10 points or like 6 points by this point, the data high. Because those were the targets of today. It was the 4-hour lows getting taken here, and then once we took that, the bias was kind of indecisive. And then once I saw an SMT happen on the lower time frame, because remember NQ had the higher time frame bullish SMT still, and so ES came down and created its own bullish SMT. So personally, I just wanted to take the ES because it swept sell side. Probably going to deliver here, slowly down here, back into discount, continue up. Hard to say right now. Asia can be so tricky if there's not some clear liquidity. So I definitely would not be trading Asia right now. It doesn't look too good. You do have this delivery. You got this 5-minute delivery here to swing low, but it's not the exact candle formation I would like. There isn't any bearish roadblock, and there's triple equal highs here. So, you do have something to work with on the minute. Those equal highs are kind of stacked up. You got here and here. So there's liquidity pools above. There is a pool to buy side. We just have a lot of bullish gaps still below. So yeah, if anyone's looking at Asia right now to trade, I would just be a little careful. Typically when I trade Asia, it's when we are just dumping or pumping all day, and we formed that all day LRLR. When you see that, and it hasn't happened in a little bit, but when you see that truly linear, tight candles, so the candles aren't too long, they're just tight, and it's just stepping down, just on the buy side or on the sell side, whichever direction it's going. Perfect lower and lower highs, or higher and higher highs. Something that you can put a trend line on it. You have like 5 perfect touches. It's very, very, very algorithmic, I would say. When you see LRLR, it's forming a very algorithmic price action. Those highs, those stacked highs, remember we always talk about, they need to get run. Price wants to take out highs that are just descending like this on ES. These highs are going to want to get run soon with that wick just standing there, because there's people shorting from back here. There's people holding that short, still hoping for price to keep correcting. They think this is the correction maybe, and they're still holding that short. So the algorithm will need to come and take these highs and then eventually these highs. When is the question? So we're always looking for the major liquidity sweep, as you know. Major liquidity sweep, big reaction, IFVG over the FVG. Okay. And as for contract size, remember again, as a reminder, you have this. Okay, so please don't be risking, guys, especially if you're copy trading. If you've got 5 accounts, 10 accounts, don't trade more than $200, $300, or $400. And if you have only one account, you really probably shouldn't trade more than $200 or $300 unless you want to take a very, very aggressive strategy approach to tackling this market. And I don't recommend it because the losses will be big. You risk that 200, you make that 3RR, 4RR on those trades that we get. It's a very green day. So on the days that we are wrong, and there's days where we are. Remember last week? Remember the week before that, Thursday or Friday going into Monday 2 weeks ago? Those were 2 red days. Very avoidable red days. User error on me, moving, break even down again, or missing a liquidity pool identified. So you actually know where to move stop to break even. But if you don't do that, you're going to lose that 200, the risk. So the goal is to stay in this game, stay in this as long as possible. All right. So if you lose a trade, if you set your daily loss limit at 200 and you risked the 200 on that one trade, guess what? You're done. You are done. Time to lock yourself out, go to the gym, go for a walk, go cook a meal, take a nap, touch yourself. Whatever you need to do to not click the button and trade, that's what you need to do. Okay? Because if you were wrong once and it was the morning session, the chances of you being right in the afternoon session are actually worse than your success in the AM session. Okay, I've had a mentor use cold hard statistics in a trading journal for months, and he had a 69% win rate in the afternoon, only documenting and journaling 1:30 to 4 p.m. trades, 69% win rate. Now that's above 50%. But that is really close to where if you start to fuck around with your risk management and you risk a little too much on one trade, you can screw yourself. Okay? So please, if there's anything we gathered from tonight, it's obviously identifying the right setups, knowing when to call it quits. If you've been right on one trade and it's still morning session, sure, if we see another liquidity sweep, if you were right with the one move in distribution, perhaps it's time for that reversal. You've already gotten out, taken your profits. Yes, you can look for another trade. You can be that back-to-back. You made this move trade and now you've caught the next reversal. That's absolutely possible. It happens. But just know that every trade you take, you are getting back into the game of statistics. You are going back into a losing race where there's really smart people that are trying to beat you. There's a computer that's trying to beat you. So just know that, okay? I'm serious. Like, a win is a big deal. All right? I don't know when we're going to get a 16 RR trade again. I really don't. It may be weeks, months. All right? Don't want to sound depressing, but you need to take those wins when you get them. You need to not let them get to your ego. When you have a big win, one thing that I was fighting today, and everyone will fight, it's a human condition, it's chemicals, is the sense of euphoria, okay? You know, take a psychology course or watch videos on psychology when you have some free time on YouTube. Well, just type in ICT or trading, day trading, psychology. Again, if you haven't already, go into the psychology tab. I have literally a psychology tab, and just watch those top 3 videos to start if you haven't. And that's really going to help set a foundation, help you better understand yourself as a trader. I can't emphasize enough that as you go further along this journey, you are going to really figure out you as a person. You're going to start to understand fear and greed like they're your best friend. You're going to really start to understand what's making you tick. Is this greed? Are you wanting to just make money right now because the market's in front of you and things are always moving? Okay? Or is it fear? Are you scared that you already lost one trade? You still have budget to take another trade, but you're terrified to lose again because losing sucks. Losing sucks. You don't make money here in second place. You either win or you lose, and losing sucks. But the sooner and faster you can accept loss and get out of the trade, the quicker and more successful you will be. I promise you that when you're in losses and the price is coming down to your stop loss, if you move that stop loss, more times than not, it's simply going to hit further down in your stop loss. When you mechanically get into a trade and you've established your stop loss, that is it. That is a biblical, like, etched in stone rule for yourself that is as low as you're willing to go. And when price moves to your break even point, you cannot move break even down if price starts to come down to break even. You salute that trade, you say goodbye, and you welcome the next setup. Yeah, it can't be growing legs. I do it too sometimes. I'll inch the stop loss down into some losses. Why? Why put yourself in 4, 8, 12 points stop loss if price is coming down and it's already respected a bearish imbalance, you're probably going to get stopped out. It's going down for that next bullish gap. It's taking out a low that you don't expect. Okay? So I kind of ranted there for a little bit, but it's so important, and that's what's going to destroy you guys. It's not the strategy. It's not the lives. It's not the signals. It's not the classes. You'll wait and wait. You'll sit there waiting for a trade. You'll take it or you won't. What will destroy you is the greed, the fear, and breaking your rules. Okay, that is it. If you can set those rules, the rules that we've discussed many times, if you can make your own profit goal, your loss limit per day, and you focus on the weeks being green, not the days, the weeks, then you will be successful. Every day will not be green. I promise you, the best traders in the world all see losses. Okay? They all see losses. I promise you. Even the best, we don't know who he or she is, if they're using a bot, quantum computing, whatever. There's a loss here and there. There always will be. Never think you're always right. And also, never celebrate a trade until it's over, until you're at least in break even with one trim, because it just puts bad energy out there. I can't tell you how many times I've been celebrating and talking about other shit. I swear it affects the trade. I swear your attitude, your energy will affect the trade. So try not to stay cocky. Try to be conservative, frugal with your take profits, with your stop losses. And know that if you're right, it's going to take off. It's not going to hit that stop loss. It's not going below the close below or a low there. It's just not. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. All right. I'll shut up. Does anyone have another question? Samson, any remarks related to that or anything to trading?
No, man. I think you covered it.
All right, cool. What else? Let me see if there's anything else I can yap about, and then we can just call it for tonight. We will do class in a couple other nights. We'll do Thursday night again. We'll do some back testing. I'll have FX replay up with the with futures, and we can do two indices on the chart. We figured that out, so we can have NQ and ES up. And always, guys, if any one of you have a private question related to trading, a psychological question related to trading, DM me if you don't feel comfortable. Okay, you can email me, you can DM me here, Instagram, book a call with Samson or myself. Don't destroy yourself all alone. This is a very selfish, a very siloed career path. Don't get caught in the darkness of that. Okay, make sure you still keep in touch with friends, do stuff on the evenings, go to the gym. You need balance. I cannot emphasize that also enough. You need to keep your mind right too. If you are not in a good mental state, if you are upset about something, if you are pissed, if you are jealous of someone gave you some news, you're just envious one day, if something is attacking your edge, you are not going to trade well.
Exactly. Like every day when you go in the markets, you have to be clear-headed. Let's say, for example, your girlfriend broke up with you the day before. You do not want to be on the charts the next day. Just multiple examples. Like whenever you want to be in the charts, you want to make sure you're as clear-headed as possible. You come into the markets with a positive, happy mindset. Um, just yeah, just expecting for the best and just aligning with your strategy. Just come into the markets every day with a happy, positive mindset.
Yep, that's really it. So I'm not going to drag this on much more. I think we'll call it for tonight. Tomorrow, be there bright and early. I would say for the people who really want to be successful tomorrow, you're going to want to show up by 8:30 a.m. I'll be on by 8 or 7:30. We'll have 10 a.m. Jolt's Jobs, so that will give us a candle, I'm hoping. And then Thursday, that's the bigger day for a morning trade. Definitely want to be up early for that. We have the 8:30 unemployment claims, and then the afternoon to not trade because of ADP Friday morning. All right, so please be aware of that. I know I'm repeating myself, but you don't want to be stuck in a trade during bad times because it'll just end the trade. Yeah. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. If I see anything tonight in the next couple hours, I'll alert it, but I'm not expecting much. It's just kind of slow. This is yucky. It's just doing its thing. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I'll end the recording. Any other questions, always DM, always ask. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the live Thursday night. Again, we'll have it structured. We'll do some new, more advanced material. So make sure to tell a friend, share out the Discord invite. That will get them right in. They don't want to go through the website because now it starts to like monetize a little bit. So just give them the Discord link. They can get in with the premium features. And that's it, guys. Maybe we'll do another Kahoot for Thursday. Or if not, I'll do a multiple choice quiz for Sunday or Monday at the end of the week. Okay? Other than that, I want to thank everybody for your time. Take it day by day. Don't get caught up in just one loss. The market is always there the next day. And yeah, you got this. Guys, I was just like you 2 years ago. I didn't know what the fuck option was 2.5 years ago. I didn't know what the Greeks were, theta decay. I didn't know futures, NQ, the price per contract, per point, SMT. Jesus, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know a lot of this stuff. So you guys are on a crash course here, getting a lot of information and getting really geared for success. So please don't beat yourself up if you have to just, fail forward for a little bit. Okay? Losing is where you learn. You'll never learn. If one of you gets so lucky and you keep taking winning trades, like one of you who's not in the class had a banger $6,000 day today, and other people are making a few $1,000 stuff, you keep doing that, that will also affect you. But the losses will help you learn. If you keep winning, you're never going to really learn, and that will also fuck you up. So understand that these losses are part of the journey. They're made for your journey. Everyone experiences them, however differently. And I promise you can do this. I thought for a little while that it was impossible, and then it just started to click. All right. So that's it. Good night. Thank you all so much. Samson, everyone, I'll see you tomorrow.